On arrival in Geneva, the First Lady then Patience Jonathan was received by the permanent representative of the Nigerian mission in Geneva, Ambassador Umunna Ojiako, ITU representatives and other officials. The First Lady will on Monday be invested with the title of the champion of the ITU Impact Online Child Protection Initiative, a responsibility that will see her canvassing for policies and initiatives that protect children from the negative effects of the cyberspace across the world. Among other things, Dame Patience Jonathan will be teaming up with other stakeholders to raise the critical issue of internet access and control in a responsible fashion that needs to protect children from negative communication such as pornography, terrorism, indoctrination, among others. The ITU says Dame Patience Jonathan was chosen for this role because of her celebrated skills in advocacy and mobilization for the rights of women and children in Nigeria and the world at large. Nigerian permanent representative to Geneva, Ambassador Umunna Ojiako, says the investiture on the First Lady is a well-deserved honor that will boost Nigeria's image on the international stage.
The fact that a renowned international organization like the ITU recognized our First Lady to be a champion for young people and for children in the use of the internet is a very big honor, not just for Nigeria, but actually for Africa. So how do I feel? I feel good. I feel very good indeed.
It will be recalled that the selection of the First Lady was communicated to her when a delegation of the International Telecommunications Union visited her at the presidential villa in Abuja early this year. From Geneva in Switzerland, I am Makut Simon Machan, NTA News.
And back home, President Goodluck Jonathan has directed that all government ministries, agencies and departments must be enrolled on the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System by December 2013 for effective management and planning of human resources. The head of Civil Service of the Federation, Alhaji Bukar Goni Aji, reiterated the President's directive while opening a 4-day workshop for human resource role players on the IPPS model. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu reports.
The Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System IPS was introduced for automation of human resource information to cut cost, proper management and planning of the personnel. For now, 235 ministries, departments and agencies have a role, meaning 85% with more concentration on payroll system, while 15% is left for human resource management. These are the gaps the 4D workshop is focusing on to ensure the benefits of the system go beyond payroll, but all information and career management of personnel. The head of Civil Service of the Federation said all agencies have been directed to establish an IPS desk officer for that purpose.
By the time you retire, we don't need to call you back to give us information about yourself to be able to get your pensions or gratuity. Automatically you migrate from through the software as a civil servant to be a pensioner. Needed solutions. Is it financial? Is it technical? Is it capacity? We solve everything so that this December deadline, there is no going back about it. We must achieve it.
Though implementation of the new model of IPs did not come without some challenges, the organizers say these are areas to be addressed by the workshop.
Right now, people are looking at IPs as a centralized arrangement. No, it's a decentralized arrangement because the units relevant in the MDAs are supposed to input all the information and automatically they get on to this central system.
The workshop continues. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
And the Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Erelu Olushola Obada, has urged the United Kingdom and other Western countries to assist Nigeria in curtailing the menace of crude oil theft. The minister was speaking while delivering a lecture at the Chatham House, London, on Nigeria's defense priorities, domestic stability and regional security. Hawa Yusuf Ntua completes the report.
For the first time in the history of Chatham House, London, a Nigerian minister pulled a huge crowd to hear Nigeria's defense priorities, domestic stability for regional security, as reeled out by the Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Erelu Olushola Obada. Her lecture focused on crude oil theft and the insurgency of Boko Haram. She appealed to the international community to assist Nigeria in fighting the crimes.
Our defense roles and priorities are therefore tailored to the degree accorded to these interests. The vital interests of Nigeria concerning vulnerability of our territory, protection of democracy, economic resources and citizens wherever they may be, as well as preservation of our culture.
In an interview, she speaks on the specific assistance Nigeria requires.
To ensure that the Boko Haram people who might have infiltrated into their own countries are also arrested there.
A member of the British Parliament, Sandra Osborne, who chaired the occasion, commended the efforts of President Goodluck Jonathan for deploying a long-term strategy aimed at reducing opportunities for religious radicalism in Nigeria. From Chatham House, London, Hawa Yusuf Fontua, NTA News.
And Lagos is where we go first this Monday, where the Financial Reporting Council speaks on non-profit ventures. Hello, Vera. It's over to you.
Not-for-profit organizations in Nigeria have been encouraged to get registered with the Financial Reporting Council to enable them harness the benefits for which such organizations were established. The Executive Secretary of the Financial Reporting Council, Jim Obaze, gave the advice at a media parley with editors in Lagos. Tunde Saiki has more.
Not-for-profit organizations are normally organized and operated exclusively for social, education and professional. It is also for religious, health and charity or any other non-profit purposes. They generate their resources from members of the public, organizations and governments that identify with their mission. Against this background, the National Roadmap to the Adoption of International Financial Reporting Standards recognizes this and now employs them to comply with the provisions of the standards through registration with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria.
These not-for-profit organizations are expected to file annual returns with the Corporate Affairs Commission. As they go to file these returns, the returns they are now to be submitting, the Corporate Affairs Commission will be asking whether they are in line with the financial reporting rules set up by the Financial Reporting Council.
Mr. Jim Obaze said the establishment of an academy to promote education, research and training has reached an advanced stage, while a national code of corporate governance will follow. This, he noted, will help to address some of the nation's socio-economic issues like corruption and lack of independence.
The education of members and members' children, then you can have a school attached.
Financial Reporting Council came into full operations in 2011 to establish basis of accounting and reporting after the defunct Nigerian Accounting Standards Board was liquidated. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Government at all levels have been charged to intensify efforts at developing the micro, small and medium-scale enterprises to sustain the economy of the country. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Olusegun Aganga, gave the charge at the validation workshop and inauguration of Ogun State Council on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises held in Abeokuta. Lekon Wande can place a report.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mr. Olusegun Aganga, noted that one of the most critical challenges confronting the overall development of any nation was lack of attention on the enterprises sector of the economy, acknowledging the contributions of Ogun State government at developing trade and investment for economic growth.
In sustaining our economy and as a driver of job creation, my hope and aspiration is for this momentum to continue and for us to combine all our efforts towards enterprise development.
The state governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, said the program was in tandem with the 5 cardinal agenda of government for the rebuilding mission, saying 480 entrepreneurs had benefited from the 1 billion naira loan scheme, courtesy of government and development partners.
Goals
among which are alleviation of poverty and generation of employment, will continue to improve the social economic activities of our dear state, in particular, and Nigeria in general.
Director General of SMEDAN, Alhaji Bature Umar Asare, said plans were on to sustain a vibrant MSME subsector in Abeokuta. Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
The leader of Oodua People's Congress, OPC, Dr. Frederick Fashion, has commended the verdict of the Court of Appeal on Hamza Al-Mustafa's case over the death sentence passed on him by the Lagos High Court. Dr. Fashion described the Court of Appeal's verdict as one that has resuscitated people's confidence in the judiciary. Amaechi Pius was at a press briefing in Lagos by the leader of the OPC.
Dr. Frederick Fashion told the media that his decision was informed by the fact that there were several contradictions in the course of the trial of Major Al-Mustafa. Such contradictions, he said, include conflicting witness accounts, failure to tender ballistic report on weapon used to commit the crime, and prosecution witnesses' refusal to return for cross-examination.
He was just a man whom some powerful people want dead at all costs because of the dirty secrets in his possession. And several years down the line, a court of unbiased judges has vindicated me. Today, I demand apologies from all those who condemned me for taking my unshaken stand on Major Al-Mustafa.
Dr. Fashion said that the real killer of Alhaji Kudirat Abiola is still at large. He therefore urged the federal government to begin a fresh hunt to unmask the killer and those behind the murder of Chief Bola Ige and Fushon Williams. His sympathy, he explained, remains with the Abiola family, especially the children of Alhaji Kudirat Abiola. The leader of the OPC disclosed he remains committed to the fight against injustice and corruption. In Lagos, Amaechi Pius, NTA News.
The Ogun State Police Command has rescued 2 Chinese nationals from kidnappers in Shagamu area of Ogun State. The State Commissioner of Police, Ikemefuna Okoye, disclosed this while addressing newsmen at the state headquarters of the State Police in Abeokuta. Anthony Godona reports that one of the kidnappers were also arrested.
The 2 victims, according to the State Commissioner of Police, were rescued unhurt from their abductors at Shotumbo village in Shagamu area of the state. According to the CP, residents of the area informed the police about the activities of the kidnappers. The commissioner said during the operation, there were exchange of fire between the police and the kidnappers, leading to the arrest of one of them, while 2 others escaped with bullet wounds.
Fortunately, on the way, they came across one BMW vehicle and then followed that BMW vehicle quietly until they got to a point which happened to be their day.
Items recovered include 2 locally made double-barrel guns, live cartridges, mask, mattress, and 1 BMW ash color car with registration number Lagos CK 737 LSD. The arrested kidnapper, who later died as a result of the sustained bullet wounds, said the Chinese contractors were abducted at Odonguyon area of Lagos State. The State Commissioner of Police warned kidnappers and armed robbers to steer clear of the state, with an appeal to members of the public to report to the police any wounded person sighted in any hospital in their area. In Abeokuta, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
That report wraps up our contribution from Lagos. Awa is back to you.
Thanks, Vera. To education matters now, the Institute of Life and Earth Sciences at the University of Ibadan is among the 4 Pan-African universities approved by the Assembly of the African Union at its 20th ordinary session in Addis Ababa, January this year. Franca Uzoma Olwe reports that the Minister of Education, Professor Rukayetu Rufai, presented progress reports on the Institute at the Bureau of Conference of Ministers of Education of the African Union in Addis Ababa.
The Assembly of the African Union recognizes tertiary education as the heart of Africa's education development agenda. It is against this background that the Pan-African University PAU was launched on 14 December 2011 to develop continental-wide and world-class postgraduate curriculum. Nigeria being the first of the 4 host countries to sign a memorandum of understanding with AUC on the hosting of the PAU, admitted 43 students on scholarship. However, only 23 students from 8 countries resumed for master's and PhD programs, with India as a lead thematic partner. With Nigeria's commitment of 250 million naira for intervention in the Pan-African University at Ibadan, the African Union may reconsider India's position as the lead thematic partner for the institute due to insufficient financial support. Meanwhile, 75 million naira has been provided by the Ministry of Education in the 2013 appropriation for the running of the institute.
Nigeria has gone far, but some countries are in the process in one way or the other, but India, not much is being done. So what we are saying is that with this meeting, likely we have to recommend maybe a change for India if the challenge may not be overtaken by events.
I think, first of all, the principle of the Pan-African University is in order. However, we find that it appears that the African continent was relying more on external sourcing and funding than within itself. So I think that there must be commitment by the African Union Commission.
Kenya, Cameroon, and Algeria are host member states of the Pan-African University. In Abuja, Franca Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
And still on education, the 3 unions of university non-academic staff have urged the federal government to implement the 2009 agreement on earned allowances to prevent the resumption of the suspended March 2011 industrial action. The appeal was made during a joint action committee of the National Association of Academic Technologists, Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, at a media briefing in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of the 3 unions, the president of NASU, Comrade Ladi Ilia, noted that none of the 3 items on the agreement has been implemented, despite several promises by the government in the last 4 years.
Is calling on well-meaning Nigerians as a matter of urgency to prevail on government to address all the burning issues within the shortest possible time.
What we have is a suspended strike and therefore does not require any notice to resume.
The issues in contention are funding of the university system, implementation of earned allowances, and non-inclusion of the non-teaching staff of Nigerian universities and students on the Needs Assessment Committee. Windstorm renders 100 homeless in Jigawa State. These and more stories in our Kaduna Network Center with Suleiman. Good to see you, Suleiman.
Thank you very much, Hawa. A windstorm has rendered many families homeless and destroyed a number of properties in Malamaduri local government area of Jigawa State. Governor Sule Lamido, represented by his deputy Alhaji Ahmad Mahmoud, has since visited the scene of the incident and commiserated with the victims. Correspondent Salisu Aminu reports.
The windstorm, which lasted for about an hour, wreaking havoc in the area, it displaced several houses and through darkness who have now been cut off from the national grid. Officials of State Management Agency have since visited the area to ascertain the level of damage caused by the storm. Governor Sule Lamido, represented by his deputy Alhaji Ahmed Mahmoud, has promised immediate government intervention.
The information is that the government is coming in immediately, because we have seen a lot of damages, and this is one of the cardinal points of this government. Immediately we see this kind of disasters, we move in, and the government will help immediately.
The governor also paid a sympathy visit to the district head of Malamadori. Vice chairman of the local government, Alhaji Ahmed Muhammad, appealed for immediate support from government and public-spirited individuals. From Duse, Salis Aminu, NTA News.
The coalition of unpaid textile workers in Kaduna said it will seek the intervention of the National Assembly should the Northern Governors Forum fail to fulfill promises made to ensure payment of entitlements of the sacked workers and revived the moribund textile industries. Chairman of the association, Comrade Wadam Simdik, stated this at the association's rally in Kaduna. Correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Unpaid workers said life in the past 10 years has not been easy. According to their chairman, Comrade Wadam Simdik, more than 2,000 members died with their entitlements not being paid. Narrating their pathetic story, he said, time has come for the association to head to the National Assembly to ensure their right is safeguarded.
The decision makers of these countries are the Senate and House of Representatives. So equally, we will go there and equally told them that, look, textile industries, are we not Nigerians?
Gathered here at the aged, widows and orphans to remind the Northern Governors Forum that the plight of members of the association deserves more than casual attention.
I've not finished my school. I've been just walking up and down.
We need to cry to the government for the payment of our benefits.
This will be able to show us that the people are really in touch.
The association, however, commended Governor Mukhtar Ramalan Yero of Kaduna State, who promised to deliver their request to Northern Governors Forum in Kaduna. I am Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Commandant's Air Force Institute of Technology, Kaduna Air Vice Marshal John Oshoni, said the institute has commenced research into the development of a robot capable of remotely defusing bombs and disposing improvised explosive devices. He stated this at a news conference preparatory to the 42nd graduation ceremony of the institute in Kaduna. Correspondent Muhammad Lawal Baba reports.
Air Vice Marshal Oshoni said the institute has made progress in the research. He said a prototype of the robot has been developed as unmanned ground vehicle.
Just focus on research and development for the country, and I think it has paid them well.
The commandant said measures are geared toward repositioning the Nigerian Air Force for the innovative application of technology, which is part of the vision of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Alex Bade. Air Vice Marshal John Oshoni further said research being undertaken at AFIT comes with financial implications. Hence, the institute seeks the passage of the AFIT Establishment Act.
I'm very hopeful, optimistic that once it is presented to Mr. President, I think he will sign it.
It will be recalled that the institute has tested its unmanned aerial vehicle some months ago. In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
The General Officer Commanding 2 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Ahmed Tijan Dibin, has enjoined 800 officers and soldiers deployed to the full and on peace mission to remain focused and professional in discharging their duties. He stated this at the graduation of 322 Battalion of the Nigerian Army in Jaji, Kaduna. Correspondent Muhammad Lawal Baba again reports.
Major General Ahmed Jibril said the Nigerian Army accords priority to quality and hence committed to deploying well-trained and disciplined troops.
As ambassadors of Nigeria, and they have been doing a very good job, judging from the good results we are getting of recent from the performance of our troops.
He urged the officers and soldiers to utilize the knowledge on tactics, techniques, and procedures impacted on them during the training. Commandant Nigerian Army Peacekeeping Center, Major General Salihu Uba, said the training has exposed the troops to modern warfare techniques in confronting complex and multidimensional challenges in the mission area.
Really, we look towards positive and good results from the battalion.
The 800 officers and soldiers of the 322 Battalion of the Nigerian Army have shown zeal to make the country great in peacekeeping operations. In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
And that is our contribution from Kaduna. Is back to you, Hawa, for more on Nationwide.
Very well, Suleiman. The Nigerian Bar Association is to partner with the Nigerian Law Reform Commission as part of efforts to hasten results from law reform processes in the country. The two bodies came up with this resolution when the NBA Committee on Constitution Review and Law Reform visited the commission in Abuja this Monday. Femi Okewo completes the report.
The Nigerian Law Reform Commission is the nation's standing organization saddled with the responsibility of continuously evaluating and updating the nation's laws. It is statutorily expected to pass on all its reforms through the Attorney General's office. Its job stops there. But the Nigerian Bar Association thinks that this process shields the Commission's work, making the public think that nothing is being done to reform the nation's laws. It is in this light that Chairman of the NBA Committee on Constitutional Review and Law Reform says a partnership will help to open up the reforms being worked on.
We will hold seminars or conferences together to sensitize and also to inform on needed areas that need interrogation in the present corpus of our laws.
Commissioners of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission say no organization is better placed to help Nigerians enjoy the benefit of constant law reform than the NBA.
NBA will be more proactive in pursuing the draft bills which we have produced.
If the NBA is involved in the reform of a legislation, it will be easier when it comes to either the interpretation of the legislation or the implementation.
In the recent past, there has been increased awareness about the Commission and what it can do to promote law reform and the development of the law in Nigeria.
In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
The National Electoral Commission, INEC, is seeking partnership with the National Space Research and Development Agency in the area of constituency delineation to facilitate the electoral process. The Chief Executive